Hey y'all, and welcome to the NCAA preview. We are here in Eugene, Oregon, ready for all the action. Day one's happening right now, but we're going to give you all the behind the scenes and really tell you what we're looking forward to see on the men's side and the women's side. Let's start with the men first.
Wait, hang on, pause. We're rocking the bucket hat today. Ready for a big day of action in track and field. Had to rock the bucket hat. It's going to be a little sunny out, although it's a little chilly.
It is.
So
I think it'll be good later in the evening weather-wise. It's typically rainy in Oregon, but forecast no rain, all good weather.
Love that.
Yes.
But I don't know about the sprinters. What do you think the sprinters are going to feel about?
As a sprinter, I think running in this weather, we might not see any crazy PBs.
No 975s?
According to English Gardner, we might see a 975. So we'll see. But I think it'll be good for your short sprints. Not great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's jump right in.
Yeah.
We just wanted to talk about some high hitting events, right? That we're really excited for. So we'll start with the men's 100.
Okay. Oh, I thought
you want to start with the men's 15.
No, we can do men's 100
okay, let's start with the men's 100 because we're already talking about sprints. Obviously, we had Jordan Anthony run 9.75, 2-1 when they did.
Yeah.
Just barely. What were your thoughts about that? Because we haven't had a chance to really dive in about it.
Yeah, we briefly talked about this on the meetup on Tuesday, and I think it's legit. It's only 0.1 over. Yes, 9.75 is really fast, especially for a collegiate athlete, but it was only 0.1 over. And I feel like, yes, it's 180, but not by much.
Yeah.
And on top of that, he's ran 5 100s all season long, 1 at Mount Sac, 2 at SECs, 1. 2 at West Prelims, came out on top, ran that 9.75, and 4 of those 5 times have been sub 10. So I think that in itself, it's not a fluke. He's fast, he's ready. In my opinion, he's the obvious favorite, and I think he can easily win if he executes. I know there's other people in the field as well, but I think the 100 is his.
Yeah, I really like Abdul Rashid Samanu.
Yeah.
He's gone 9.86, and for a while there, we thought that's untouchable, and then Jordan Anthony comes out and runs 9.75.
Yeah.
The 9.86 was win legal. It was only I think 0.6 or 0.7.
Okay.
And I haven't done the conversions yet, but I would imagine those 2 times are actually pretty close when you look at them. With both 0.00.
I agree. I've talked to Abdul before, and he's built different. He has a dog in him for sure. I think it'll be a close one. I think that 9.75 though is up there, but I think Abdul, I wouldn't count him out at all because all it takes is one mistake for Jordan, and Abdul's right there with him.
Well, there was some speculation online. We won't get too far in the weeds, but some people were saying Jordan Anthony wasn't even some people said he false started. I saw some speculation online. I wasn't there. I didn't see anything. But
we'll have full-on censor.
We will. We'll see everything.
So we'll find out together for sure.
There's a couple other men in the race. Taylor Banks. He's gone 9.91.
Yeah.
I also really like our boy from Iowa, Kalen Walker. Kalen Walker. So there's a few different names in there that could definitely surprise. And it's Hayward magic. You never know what's going to happen.
No, 100%. I think we'll see in today's first round, leading into the next round, which is Friday is the final round? Yeah, 2 days from today. Yes, that's Friday.
So I'm doing the math in my head.
I think we'll definitely see, because I think you also have to be mindful of how much energy you push out today.
Yeah.
Some people are capable of running sub 10 today and then still doubling back, but some people might be able to run sub 10, but then when it's time for the actual final, might not be able to do it because then you have tired legs, you have different rounds, and majority of that field, they're in 4x1s, 200s. They have other races to do. So I think it'll be a testament to who can survive until the final.
Survival.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of survival, the men's 1500 is going to be a survival.
Yeah.
The greats kind of going head to head. I think you look at the NCAA all-time list, and 4 or 5 of these men are on the top 10 list now.
Yeah.
And so when you look at that, what are your main takeaways? A lot to kind of unpack, but we'll kind of run through it quick.
Yeah, I think my main takeaway, so as a sprinter, when I look at things, I'm a fan of training groups.
Yeah.
I think Villanova has a strong training group, and I'm excited to see them kind of come out on top. I think if you train like that on a regular basis, when you get in this environment, it's like another day, it's another practice. Your competitors are typically your teammates, and you come out on top. The guys that we're going to see today have come against each other multiple times throughout this season, so it won't be the first showdown.
Yeah.
But I think Villanova, that's where my world is. I know there's a lot of the schools. I know we have some Virginias in there, but
I like Liam Murphy. I think he's kind of he shouldn't be an underdog when you think about it, but I think on paper people see Ethan Strand, they see Gary Martin, and they're like, oh, those are the 2 guys to beat, especially with what they did on the indoor circuit.
Yeah.
And traditionally, Liam Murphy has been in a lot of championship races and hasn't been able to deliver. I mean, he was 11th last year, NCAA's 1500, 11th in 2023 as well. So a little bit of a curse there maybe. But and then he has, funny enough, 4th NCAA's indoors 3K this year. He was 4th last year. So like, he needs to break out of that little kind of, I don't know what you want to call it, curse that he's in, but he's NCAA record holder right now. He's delivered time and time again throughout the season. Big East champion. It looked like he kind of just ran through the rounds at NCAA East, just wanted to make sure he got in, didn't want to overexert himself. I'm really excited to see what he can do. Obviously, like I said, he's going to have to beat Ethan Strand, going to have to beat Gary Martin, going to have to beat our indoor NCAA mile champ, Abel Tefra. Nathan Green in there as well. There are so many names. I think it's like the most fun event by far. Yeah. And I think, at least on the distance side, maybe not overall. I mean, how would you even put it?
I don't know. I think there's a lot of hot events. I'm not going to lie. It's hard to give it to just one. I think we're going to see a lot of fight to the finishes. And maybe not in like the steeplechase for the women, but I think we'll see a lot of fight to the finishes on the distance side. I think that's going to make it fun. I think seeing what strategy they go with, who takes it out, who just sticks behind, I think it's going to be a fun one for sure.
Well, I mean, talking about distance, we'll make a quick segue over to the women's 800 while we're on the topic, right? Because I think that's another event that looks a lot like this men's 15. A lot of there's quite a few former NCAA champs in this race, and then you look at the board and you're like, I have no idea who's going to win that. Like, I know you picked Michaela Rose. That's your pick. I'm going with, I was thinking about Michaela Page. Okay. I was very tempted to go with Michaela Page, but I think I'm going to settle on Megan Hunter. So
that's a solid choice. Like, I think there's not a bad option. Yeah. I think some of these races, it's like, okay, there's an obvious favorite, but I think all of them can do it. I think the reason I went Michaela, because they all have the ability to go like really fast. Like, I think we'll see like a 2 flat as a winner. Maybe sub 2. Don't quote me on it. I can see a 2 flat as a winner. It just
depends. I mean, it depends on what kind of race it is, right? Like, the thing with these NCAA championship races, I mean, any championship race in general, is they can go 2 ways, right? With how competitive these fields are, I wouldn't be surprised if they get bunched up. And when they're bunched up, they're not running fast.
Exactly.
We saw at NCAA indoors, a couple different strategies take place throughout the rounds. I remember during the prelims, Victoria Bosong decided, you know what, I'm just going to run this hard. At the final, it looked a little different. Michaela Page kind of controlled the effort, but didn't run away with it. I mean, she just won. She just outright won. And I think when you look at this field as a whole, as we mentioned, there's a number of women who have been on this stage before. Michaela Page being one of them. I mean, but Megan Hunter, I think she took a while to put her season together. Yeah. But I mean, she just ran 158 low, 157 high. Yeah, so 158 low. And so to do that, I think coming in, I just have a lot of confidence in what she's able to do. I think BYU tends to deliver at the NCAA championship.
I mean, they have a great coach.
Yes, and Bill Sheet knows how to get her women going, especially at these big meets. A little bit less travel for them as well. I mean, those are things you have to consider. It's not easy to come from the East Coast. I mean, I know I only came in yesterday, but I'm still feeling the effects of that long travel day. And even if you came in on Sunday, I mean, it's only
I think that's Thursday important to know, because getting into Eugene isn't easy. And Michaela Rose is still my pick, but she did come from Louisiana. Like, I'm sure they got here Sunday sometime. Like, I'm sure they gave time to adapt, but it's not easy. Oregon's a unique place. Like, it's hard to get to Eugene, but also the weather. Like if you have allergies, you probably have them here. Like, different things to adapt to. But I think the reason I love Michaela Rose is I think that she has the heart to win. I think that she's lost on this track and not come up with the title too many times, and it's her last year. And I think that sometimes can push you over the edge. And that's why I picked her. I think she might want it the most.
And we only mentioned 3 women, but I mean, the field is slow. I mean, we can literally spend all day going through every single woman and why they have a chance to contend. It's world-class field. Like, these NCAA championships, they're no longer just collegiate championships. They are quite literally like a U.S. championship.
I'm like, we'll probably see them all at USA's. If they're American, they're going to be there.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of those names at USA's. What's another race on the women's side that you're kind of excited for?
Ooh, 4x4.
Okay.
And 4x1. We're not going to talk about 4x1. We're going to go 4x4 route. I love when it comes down to a relay to win the title. And I think we might see it come down to the 4x4. In fact, I hope we see it come down to that. because we're going to see the schools put their best athletes in their races. We'll see the return of a few athletes. So we'll have Miss Aaliyah Butler. She's the clear favorite in the Open 400, but to see her come back in this 4x4, she had the third fastest split of all time already this season. And to see her come in this, also to come after this 400, which I think she'll get the title. That's why I hope it comes down to the 4x4 for the overall team title, because I think we'll see a really, really, really fast split from her. Yeah. But she won't be alone. She has the stacked Arkansas team. It's Arkansas. Like they never have a bad 4x4. Yeah. It should be fun. And then we'll see South Carolina in the mix too.
They ran really fast.
They ran really fast. It's a lot of 324s in there. They have Jamisha Ford. And all these athletes, by the way, all have NIL deals. Like if you're top of the top, you're.
Well, so many of those women are going to be coming back from other events too. When you look, down the line, I think we are kind of excited for those Georgia and South Carolina squads, but you kind of mentioned they do have a lot of different women in different events throughout the week. How does that kind of play in? Like, how do you get your athletes, number one, mentally prepared, but also just physically ready to go again on Saturday evening?
Yeah, I think when nationals is structured, because you have 2 rounds of everything, I don't think you'll see your full A team if they can afford it in that first round. Exactly. I think that prelim round, you won't. Don't quote me on it, but if they have legs that they believe that they can get them across the line to qualify for finals, you won't see Jamisha run 4x1, 4x4, 1 and 2, all 4 on that first day. I think they're going to pull her from something. Maybe not the 4x1 because that's not as much on your legs, but I think they're going to try to save them for the final, because if they have the power to do it and some really good alternates, they can. I think your Arkansas and Georgias definitely do. South Carolina, a lot of their 4x4 is made up of sprinters, where it's not necessarily 400 runners. So I think we'll see. I think it's going to be a strategy from a coach's perspective for sure, but I think it's about resting and feeling ready for the next day.
I just want to talk really briefly about a few events that we haven't discussed already, but I just kind of want to talk about any hot takes, any events that you're don't want to super dive into, but any events that you're really, really, really excited for.
Oh, I might throw it back to you.
Okay, I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but I think the one that I think the steeplechase on both sides, we kind of talked about a little bit at dinner last night, but I think the men's steeplechase has some opportunity to really be interesting with just how many men are coming back to that race. James Corrigan obviously ran at the Olympics last summer. We haven't really seen him at the top of his end game until the end of the season. I mean, he just ran 8:20, I believe. That's just one race. I don't want to go super into the weeds, but I think that's one I'm really excited for. Men's discus. Myolekis, world record holder. How do we not talk about that even just briefly? I mean, world record holder. I don't think we'll see a world record at the NCAA championship. Yeah, but that would be pretty crazy.
Yeah, I don't think it's I should know throws more than I do, given I date a thrower. But whatever the wind was that day too was perfect for his event. I don't know which direction is better for them. Cross, but
I've heard
I
different
don't think it's doing that here.
Yeah, from again, not a thrower. Not my expertise, but from what I kind of read online after that performance was, some people were like, "Oh, why is there not a wind reading at discus?" And people kind of had to explain. It's not like your, sprints where it's just one dimensional. Yeah. If the wind is coming vertically down just the right way, or, if it's coming a crosswind and it's a lefty or righty or vice versa, it kind of just alters how the disc flies. Yeah. And so it's almost impossible to, number one, even physically figure out what makes the most sense. But also to even track that. I mean, I don't think our typical wind gauges are set up for that kind of.
I 100% agree. It's going to be fun to watch. Thanks for reminding me. I need to watch a world record holder throw.
Yeah, for sure. We'll have to make our way down to the pit. I believe the discus starts a little bit before some of the other events. And, they might be throwing on the field. So I guess we'll be able to watch it right here.
I love it. We'll watch it.
I'm so used to other facilities where I have to go a mile away to go watch the throws.
That's why I do love Hayward, though, because of that. Everything's very close. I love the stadium. It's amazing. Yeah. If you haven't been, you should come see Hayward at least once in your life. It's a bucket list for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Briefly wanted to... sorry.
No, my top event. I'm a Baylor Bear through and through. Alexis Brown, long jump.
Yeah.
She's in the 100 long jump and in the 4x1. I'm so excited. She transferred from Florida, was with that iconic jump group with your Jasmine Moores, Claire Bryant, and now she's at Baylor having the season of her life. The way she's jumping is insane. I believe she's currently top 3 in the world right now.
Which is insane.
Insane. So to see
Incredible.
her come out here, she has Baylor school records like PB after PB, and all the things that she's went through, surgeries, to see her come out here, I'm so excited for her to get this first outdoor title. She won indoor, and I think this outdoor one is hers to take. And then it would be sweet if she could come back in the 4x1 and get that title with Baylor. Now the 100, I don't know. We have some heavy hitters, but I think it's going to be a fun one for sure.
Yeah, I think we're actually about to get started. I mean, they're playing the championship music. Speaking of Baylor, they have a chance on the women's side. I don't know if they're necessarily the favorite. I think our favorite is probably Georgia, at least for me. I'm going with Georgia on the women's side. But Baylor, led by her, they have a chance.
Yeah.
They need a lot to go right. I think a lot of teams need a lot to go right, right? Like, I think Georgia's your favorite because they have so many women inside the top 8 of their events. And so when you look at the points and when you break it down, when you do the math, it's like, all right, Georgia, hands down, should.
Like statistically,
they should be your champions at the end of the weekend. We felt, similar ways during indoors, and Oregon came out of nowhere and won the championship. I don't think Oregon's going to be in the mix, especially not having Jada Ross or Jaden Mays. Obviously losing those 2 big low sticks, big point sticks, whatever you want to call them. Low sticks during it's not cross country season. But losing those big point scores kind of really bumps Oregon down the lineup. But as I mentioned, there's a number of teams in the mix. USC is obviously always up there, as is Arkansas. Although going into indoor season, we had Arkansas pegged to win by a pretty large margin, and they just weren't able to deliver. I mean, talk to me about kind of your expectation from the team battle. Any low sticks you're expecting to kind of pop out of nowhere?
Yeah, I think on the women's side, I have to agree. I think statistically Georgia has it. I think Arkansas. Oops, sorry.
A little bug action.
I know it is Oregon. There's bugs everywhere, but I think. I think Georgia statistically always has a good option. I think Arkansas always seems to figure things out. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but I've never not seen Arkansas on top. So I wouldn't be surprised if they figure it out over these next few days. And then Baylor, I'm always rooting for Baylor. I will be sad that I'm not a part of the title, but I think that if everything goes in their favor, that we can see something special. I don't want to sleep on a couple other schools, but I mean, there's a lot of teams. I think one event can change everything. Yeah. It's hard to say. I'm
so excited the music just got quiet because this is going to be the worst thing to ever edit.
They literally started.
No, I think the entire video, it's just gotten louder and louder. I'm going to have an awful time. If this is on YouTube and they made it and it's not copyright striked, congratulations for listening even this far into our show. I think on the men's side, again, just like the women's side I think the men's side is almost more competitive with just the amount of teams that are within 10 points to the win. And I, again, did the math, charted it all out, was looking at where you have your top performers. And one of the challenges I came across was assigning almost half points because you had so many events where it was any one of these guys can win. I think there was one event where I literally distributed 8 points per athlete for the top 3 athletes because I was these guys are dead stalemate. Yeah. I have Minnesota coming out on top. I think that's a shock for a lot of people. A lot of people are I've seen it floated around. I think a couple different outlets have proposed maybe Minnesota has a chance. I don't think it's just a chance. I think they're the favorites going into the weekend.
Imagine if you're right.
I was right about Oregon during indoor. And now we're actually getting started. But the reason again, I think there's 2 events where they're going to score a lot of points. One is the hammer. They have the 2 favorites, 1-2. That's Angelos. I'm going to butcher this name. Mansuranius. Okay. I don't know if that's right or not. It's a crazy Greek name, maybe. He's throwing 78.61 in the hammer. And then they have Kostas Zaltos, who's throwing 77.91. No one else is particularly close in that event. I think as long as they have the days that they should come away 1-2. And then when you're looking at the long jump, they have Charles Godfred, who's coming in second. Ranked second to the championship. And so you look at those 2 events alone and they have 24 points. Yeah. Then they just need to tic-tac their way up. I think it's going to take 39, 38 points to win this weekend. Not a high scoring championship.
I'm in the 40s.
Yeah,
I am. I am in the 40s. Now the women my score for them is much higher, but the men I'm in the 40s. I think the women I'm in the 60s.
Yeah.
I picked the odd. I think I'm 60 for women.
The women's has the potential to go much higher just based on the scoring breakdown. I think another team that might shock you that was high on my projections was New Mexico.
I'm not surprised. Yeah,
and it's one of those things where you have Hoptum Samuel, Ishmael Kipkurui, excuse me. They're technically ranked 1, 2 in both the 10K and 5K. Very unlikely that they finish that way. If they finish that way, though, and they score 36 points, then they're in the mix for sure. Yeah. Again, I don't know if that necessarily is even... It's possible. I guess it's always possible, but obviously they'll have the 10K on their legs first. They're going to run that tonight. Make sure you tune in to ESPN to watch that. But they'll be racing the 10K tonight, and then they'll be running the 5K later in the weekend. And so it's just a matter of how well they can cycle that lactic out of their legs and get ready for the 5K. It also really matters on how strategic this 10K is, because they're coming in as the heavy individual favorites. Obviously Ishmael Kipkurui set the NCAA 10K record earlier this year. Hoptum Samuel was second collegiate to him in that race at the 10, would have had the NCAA record if his teammate didn't break it. And so they should, in theory, come away 1-2 as long as they don't do anything crazy stupid. But there are a few other names. Dylan Schubert, I think, from Furman is a great opportunity for him to steal a win if it becomes strategic. That 5K, though, and we don't have to go into the weeds too much, but it's going to be a lot more dogs in that race. I mean, you have Marco Langen, your guy Marco Langen. I think he has a great chance to mix it up and steal a win, especially if it comes down to a kick. I think he easily has.
Marco's kick is insane.
He has a great kick. And with all the other 1,500 guys that are returning that 5K, racing earlier in the weekend, he scratched the 15 because he was like, you know what? I'm focusing on the 5K. I want to give myself the best chance at an NCAA championship. And it's crazy to think that he's like a top 4 or 5 all time on the NCAA all time 1,500 meter list, and he's not even running it. So he's going to be my surprise. So, again, it's just going to come down to whether or not Ishmael Kipkurui and Hoptum Samuel can kind of snag those low sticks for them. And if they can, I think they have a great chance of getting the win.
100%. I agree. I think Marco has that dog in him, and I think it's so fascinating to see him scratch that event.
Oh, we're getting quiet. I love it. I love it.
I do have a question for you real quick.
Yeah.
One top scorer. Who do you have?
Ooh, one top scorer. Like my overall individual top scorer. God, that's hard because, again, you look at the sprint and you're like, well, you have women that are running multiple events, right? And so I think kind of want to say Jamija Ford. If you're willing to give her the 4x1 and the 4x4 points as well. I don't know what their plan is with that. Right?
I gave her. Oh, I did my points. I forgot. I don't have her winning everything. But even if she doesn't win everything, I have her third in the 4x4, second in the 4x1, and then first in the 1 and 2, I believe. Yeah. So if
collectively, if you look at those points breaks down, I mean, she should have at least 20.
She's in a lot of events, so that's statistically, if you're in a bunch of events and you perform well in all those events, you should be good.
If
the
you can score,
I got scary though, because those exchanges, all the difference.
Yeah, but if she can score over 20 points, I mean, collectively, because the 4x1s should technically divide them, but whatever.
I'm at 21 for her.
I think that's that feels pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone else.
I was gonna do 20.5 because I was like, what if she gets 6 divided by 4? But I did 21.
I'm trying to think off the top of my head of what other athletes are doing multiple events.
I mean, you could
look at I don't know where I'm going.
Yeah,
I don't know where I'm going.
Your choice was right the first time.
I feel good about that. I feel good about that.
If we're wrong, John chose it first.
Yeah, my bad, guys. Awesome. Well, I guess that kind of does it for our really, really brief, quick preview of the action. Just kind of wanted to give you the main talking points, the main things we're excited for as we go into a 4-day meet. We start today, Wednesday, with the men's events, following up by the prelims, or most of the prelims for the women's events tomorrow. A couple of finals mixed here and there, some field events, obviously, and then the 10Ks as well. So, well, Demitra?
Yeah, I will see y'all doing all the interviews. If you're not watching on ESPN, tune in to FloTrack. We'll have interviews, we'll have behind the scenes. Anything you want to see will be here, getting all the action. Thank y'all for watching, and we'll see y'all next time. Bye, y'all.